Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Nancy from nancybadillo.com. And on today's tutorial, I'm going to go over 10 Etsy hacks that will help you increase your sales, will help you with your time management when you're creating new listings or managing multiple listings. I'm going to teach you how to use different strategies to plan for months ahead. And also, I'm going to show you different things that you could look at to kind of look at your Etsy shop status, um, how to share a listing, and other things that you could do to improve the quality, not only of your store, but also increase your sales, be more time efficient, like I said before. So let's go ahead and get started. These are things that I have learned throughout the course of my Etsy um, time now for 2 years now. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first one is keywords. So every time I used to create a listing, what I used to do was I would, especially if I was doing duplicate listings, which means that I was using the same keywords for multiple listings, even though the item I was selling was a different color. Maybe one had a blue background and one had a white background. So what I used to do is create a new listing, do the whole listing description, put the pictures up, and then go here and put every keyword. And that would, take me an additional 15 minutes to do. So one thing I learned um, throughout the course is that you could actually write your keywords. So you could do it in a notepad. I have it on my notepad on Mac. If you write the keywords and you separate them with a comma in between each keyword, what you could do is you could copy this, Command copy, or depending if you have a Windows PC, it might be a little bit different. You could copy the keywords, you go here, you paste the keywords, press enter, and it automatically adds all 13 keywords. You're actually shaving time right there. I would say about maybe a good 2 minutes to 3 minutes. And then the nice thing about the copying and adding is that you could make sure that you spelled it correctly. And when you add them there, you're not misspelling them or adding them wrong because you're trying to rush through the listing or trying to create multiple listings. So that's tip number one. The keywords, you could write them in your notepad. Once you do the SEO research, you could copy them, paste them, boom, and you're done with the listing. So that's number one. Hack number two. You can actually duplicate a listing. So if you are, Etsy doesn't have a way to bulk upload listings, but you can create a listing and copy it to save time. And this goes back to time management again as well. So if you have a listing and you want to go ahead and make the same listing again, but make a copy of it because you're going to go ahead and put this sign here with a different background, all you will have to do is go to the one that you currently made. If you go on the right corner where it says manage and you go to copy, it's going to create a duplicate. How you know it's a duplicate, you'll see the copy word appear and then you'll see publish copy. So all you will have to do essentially on this listing now is remove these pictures, add the pictures of your actual listing, the new one, the different one, and then everything else stays the same. And then on the bottom, you add the new file because this is the old file, and then the keywords will stay the same. The materials will stay the same and everything else. And then change the SKU number because this is a new listing that you're adding. This is going to save you about 15 to 20 minutes per listing. I used to do every listing manually, especially the ones that had the same keywords. And I would sit there for an hour and do 15 listings if on a good day. And now with doing duplicate listings, I could do in an hour, I could probably do 20 to 25 depending on how many pictures I add and stuff like that. But it is so much easier to do and it will definitely save you a lot of time. So that's hack number two. Hack number three is managing multiple listings. So if you want to put a discount or if you want to change something about your listings, what you could do is if you go to in your setting, if you go to listings and let's say you want to increase the price on all your regular signs. So these are, I have these at $5 each. So if I decide that I wanted to increase it, instead of going manually on each listing and putting edit, change it to $6, publish, edit, $6, publish, edit, $6, publish, what you could do is that you could click here Click all the ones that you want to change, whatever you're changing. You click on the little setting, and then what you do is you edit. You click edit. And oh, I'm sorry about that. Give me 1 second. I actually gave you the wrong information. Let me go back. So basically you click on the ones that we were doing. So you do the same thing, but you will do this editing up here. I apologize for that. You will say edit options, and then here you will select from what you're doing. So let's say we were editing the price, like I said earlier. You could increase about $1, decrease by $1, do a percentage increase, percentage decrease, set a new amount. So you could technically go in here and say, I want this listing to be $5.20. And then if you press apply, all three items or all the listings that you have selected at that given moment, the price will go up. So it increased by $5 more. As you see now, it says each one is $10.20. So I'm going to go ahead and change it back. So you could obviously decrease it. So you will go to edit prices. So you can also decrease prices. So I'm going to go ahead and put $5.20. I'm going to apply it, and it's going to go back down to 5. But you see the difference? Like, you could auto select as many listings. You could do 10 listings, you could do 30 listings, you could do 5 listings, but that will save you so much time going in here and doing it that way than manually doing it. And it's just something that I've learned, and it has helped me tremendously when I'm changing the prices depending on the season. And if it's something that is trending, I might increase the price. If it's something that maybe at that given moment no one's buying, I might decrease it to entice people to buy maybe for the next year or for a special event that they might have that they might want to save it. So that's hack number 3. Hack number 4 is Etsy shop stats. So this Etsy gives you the tools to the metrics also to check your top listings and everything that you need to know about where the traffic come from, what are your top sales, and where they're coming from, geographic and all that stuff. But a quick way that you could do that, it lets you look at your stats in a quick glance basically, is when you go to listings, if you go to the right hand corner, this little button, if you have it off, this is what normally how your menu looks. If you turn it on, you'll be able to see in the last 30 days how many visits that actual picture got, how many people like the actual picture. You will see how many sales you got ever since you opened your shop, how much revenue you have made, and how many times you have renewed that item. This is nice because if you want to just quickly browse through all your listings and you kind of want to get an idea of what are your top sellers or how much you made in that particular, like you start noticing that you're selling a lot on that particular sign and you kind of want to know how much have I made, this is a quick way that you could kind of view that and give you a glance. And then what you could do is do a robust line around that product. So if you have a product that is pink flowers with like this one with gold lettering, and that product does really well, you could create additional products that are relevant to that product that people might want to buy, like matching items, and create a whole line out of it because that's one of the most popular items on your store that you sell. So you want to go ahead and capitalize on that and make more products that are similar that go with that particular product. So that's a way to strategize. So not only are you being time efficient with having the option to edit the listings, now you have the stats option that you could turn it on and you could kind of see how that listing is performing, if you're selling, if you're not selling, to see if it's something you want to keep in your shop or if you don't want to keep it in case you're not making money from it. So that is tip or hack number 4. Hack number 5 is sharing a listing. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but there are multiple ways that you could share a listing on your shop. And if you go under marketing and you go under social media, these are different methods that you could share a listing. You have to just select which one works better for you. So for instance, you could share on social media your newest listing. So anything that you put new in the store, you could just click here, press share. You could write a caption. You could basically take the one that you already wrote on your Etsy shop and it will actually save whatever keywords that you use. They will convert those in hashtags, which is a really nice feature that it has. And then you just go next, and then you share it accordingly to the page that you have it set up. And you could connect it to Instagram, you could connect it to Twitter, and you could connect it to Pinterest. You could also share your reviews. So if you have like reviews that someone says something great about your work, you could do it that way through social media. And if you don't want to share your actual work, you could actually do basically a milestone. So you could say, I'm so happy I got 95 reviews, or I reached my 100 mark review, and this is how you would do it here by sharing it from here. These are nice ways to grow your social media. It's a nice way to grow your brand. It's a great way to get traffic to come back to your store. Is a great way to showcase your customer service, to showcase your work, to showcase how great you're doing at your shop. So these are really nice features that a lot of people don't use, that I highly recommend to start doing. Even if you just do milestones and you just say, hey, I saw my 10th sale, and I just got my 10th review, or I completed my 100 review or 100 sale. You don't necessarily have to do it every day, but if it's easier, just do milestones then. So that way, not only are you being proactive at driving traffic back to your store, you're actually growing your brand at the same time, which is a really important thing to do as an Etsy business. You have to treat it as a real business as well. Tip or hack number 6: where are your customers coming from? And this is so important to understand, where are they coming from. So a way that you could check that is you would go under your shop manager, you would click on stats, and you will click on customers. And if you go right here, it's going to give you, you could do like all time. You could do this month if you want. You could do all time. And it's going to tell you how many people visited your store. So for instance, for me, the US is the highest. I got 31,000 visits from the US, and 870 orders was from the US. The nice thing about checking um, where you're getting traffic from is that if you do have an international following, let's say you're getting a lot of orders from Italy or from another country, if so, you could consider shipping internationally. Maybe you don't ship internationally, but you start noticing that a lot of people from Italy or from other countries are visiting your shop. Maybe they're not particularly buying, or they're very low, but that will give you a strategy to say, hey, my market, or the most people that visit my shop, are from Italy. Let me come up with a strategy that I could offer shipping. I will say this, that when you want something and it's something specific and it's a product that you want, people are willing to pay for shipping, even if it costs them like an arm and a leg. So if it costs $50 for shipping because they live in Italy, but they actually like your product and they love it and they want to buy it, they will do it. So don't feel scared to say, well, I don't want to do shipping, it's expensive, then they might not buy it, because that's not true. I'm one of those people that I will pay the extra shipping if I really want the product. So just look at it in that sense, and you can always play with it at internationals, kind of play with it, see if it works for you. But if the numbers don't lie, you always have to check your metrics. That's the most important thing. If you don't know who your audience is and who your traffic is, you're not targeting correctly, and you're not going to be able to drive your business and growing it and making a lot of money. And this is one strategy that you could go from making barely 10,000 to making six figures, because now you're targeting the right people, the people that are actually interested in your product. So make sure that you take time to look at that. I would say if you don't do it monthly, which is the number one way that I do it, if you don't do it monthly, do it at least quarterly. That way you could have understanding that from this month to this month, I do really well. From this month to this month, I know it's a slowdown. And it's important for you to know the status of your store, when is the busiest time for you, when you make the most money, and then kind of see how you could change that so that it could be steady income, or if you need to do anything else to fix that. So it's a really good strategy from here on, if you have not done it or you have not thought about it, to start doing it. Hack number 7 is folders. I don't know if you know this, but you could create folders in your conversation. So if you go under conversation, if you want to create a folder or move some conversations there, all you have to do is you select the person that you want, you go here, you create folder, and you could put potential sales. and maybe you want to reach out to them later on and say, hey, I talked to you last week. I haven't heard from you. Did you still did you still need that order? Or maybe you're helping someone download a file and they haven't gotten back to you. You put them there, and that's just great customer service to go back and say, hey, I talked to you last Wednesday. You reached out because you needed help. I reached out back. I haven't heard from you. I just want to make sure that you got your download because I want to secure that you are satisfied with my customer service and you're satisfied with the way I treated you when you needed help as well, right? Because sometimes when you get the sale, you forget the back end that is customer service as well, especially if they run into any issues. So this is just a great way that you could pretty much do whatever you want with it. But those are simple things that you could do to improve the quality of customer service. You might actually increase your sales because of that. They might come back. They might favorite your store. They might write a great review just because you did that. So just keep that in mind, and that it has a lot of benefits in so many different ways. Another one is hack number 8 is around the web. So around the web is basically you are able to add on your shop through if you go through that shop manager and you click on where your shop name is and you press you press a little pencil, you're able to go ahead and add links to your shop. So you're able to add your Instagram if you have one. You're able to add Pinterest, your website, your blog, and anything additional that you want to add that will potentially grow your social media presence and also grow your website, especially if you sell on the side the products. So make sure that you go in there and you add these links. A lot of people don't add them. This is a new store, so I haven't added too many links, but I will be adding mine as well. It's just something that will create more traffic to your website as well as branding. So it's very important that you go ahead and do that. Hack number 9 will be language and translations. So if you are like myself, I speak Spanish, I'm bilingual and I speak Spanish. If you speak any other language, Hexi, because Hexi is international, it's for Spanish speaking, German speaking, anybody, pretty much. What you could do is under Shop Manager and Settings, if you go to Language and Translations, you could actually translate your shop into a different language. And if you speak another language, this is absolutely, you could double your income pretty much. Customer, if I speak Spanish and that's all I speak, I will feel more comfortable buying from a shop that has their listings in Spanish because then I know exactly what I'm buying. I'm not confused. If I feel more comfortable reaching out to that store and saying, hey, I have a question about that t-shirt. I have a question about buying that product. And that's a nice thing about being able to relate to other people that speak your language. So you'll be able to go in here, click on start translating. You select the language, your second language. Once you select that language, you put save changes and you translate everything from your shop title to your shop announcement, messages to buyers of digital items, and then all your sections. And then once you do that, then you could go and do every listing as well for everything that you sell. I honestly recommend it, especially if you are bilingual. It's going to set you apart. It's going to increase your sales automatically. And if you are exceptional in the sense of that you speak even multiple languages, more than two, then even more power for you. Go ahead and do it in different languages because at the end of the day, it's just going to increase your sales and it's going to increase your shop branding. And if people Google stuff in Spanish, you'll get more traffic. I have seen case studies of other stores that they had their store in Spanish or in German, and when people Google in that particular language, there's not that much competition, so they get so much traffic. Compare when you try something in English like wedding signs, there's millions of stores that you're competing for that particular keyword, but not too many stores are translating their stores in different languages, so therefore the competition for that particular keyword is less, so therefore you make more money. So I would definitely try it. If you don't want to do all your listings, at least start. You could do, 3 listings a day until you finish, especially if you don't have that many listings already in your shop. And a lot of it is very repetitive. So you're only changing, like the titles and the keywords. A lot of shop policies is basically the same thing for every listing. Like mine is basically the same thing. So that won't be too much of a transition to do. It won't be too hard to do if you do decide to do it. So I do suggest to do it. So make sure you do it. And my last hack on this video is key shopping dates. So key shopping dates is basically a great way to strategize what to sell next. So if you go under Shop Manager, Marketing, and Key Shopping Dates, you'll be able to see all the important dates that are coming up. Graduation season, it tells you it runs from April to June 1st. Memorial Day, it runs from May 15th to May 28th. Father's Day, it runs from the 30th to the 17th. Independence Day. And this is great because you'll be able to go ahead and create a strategy for every month. You could say, oh, it's March, graduation season's coming up. Let me add some additional stuff for graduation. Father's Day is coming up from this day to this day. Let me go ahead and add some Father's Day. And it's really nice because it actually does help you, especially if you don't know, like, when it's like right now, like peak wedding season is July to June. So that kind of shows you, I'm sorry, from July 1st to June 17th. So it kind of gives you an idea on when is the biggest sales. So it's according to Etsy, in July is the biggest sales for weddings. So you want to make sure that in July you have a lot of stuff, that you're on top of customer service, that every time you get a message you respond, that you are adding additional stuff every time, new listings, or at least that by July you have everything you wanted in your shop already listed and ready for sale. So I hope that this tutorial has helped you today. Even if you learned one additional thing today, maybe you knew about other stuff. I hope it really helped you today. If you have any questions about any of these 10 hacks, make sure you leave a comment below. If you have not subscribed yet, make sure you do so. Thank you for watching, and you guys have a wonderful night.